You've heard the name Finland, so what do you know about this country? Today, Top 10 Mysteries will tell you what it feels like to be richer and more severely punished, even if you make the same mistake. Is it unfair or fair? Or the unique contest genres number 2, no one dares to receive number 1. From the contest of throwing the phone to putting the wife on his head, the video also gives an answer to the question of why Finland is an educational paradise, where students from other countries look at it and only wish. And did you know, the creator of the most successful mobile game of all time, Angry Birds, comes from Finland? All other special facts are waiting for you to discover. Join the Top 10 Mysteries to watch the video 7 Strange and Interesting Things Only in Finland. Nature overview in Finland. Dear friends, Finland, officially known as the Republic of Finland, is a country in the Nordic region, bordered by Sweden to the west, Russia to the east, Norway to the north, and Estonia to the south. The capital of Finland is Helsinki and is also the largest city. However, it is one of the most sparsely populated countries in Europe. If we do not take into account Mongolia, which has a density equivalent to 2 people per square kilometer, which is the lowest in the world, and people have to travel all day to meet others, Finland is also not inferior either, with an area of 338,462 km² and a population of more than 5.5 million people. That means only about 16 people bor kikmai-2s. Even though the population is small, but everyone notices that there is a type of nudity here that I will talk about in the next content. In addition, almost 1/3 of Finland's territory is located in the north of the Arctic belt, so it is understandable that there is a marked difference in winter and summer. Winter, especially in January and February, when the temperature drops to 20°C, the sun does not rise for 51 consecutive days. And in summer, there is a period of the sun that does not set for about 73 days, also known as summer white nights. The average annual temperature is about 5°C. If you go there to live without being able to adapt, it will be very dangerous. Breathing cold air causes the airways to become inflamed, constricted, thereby giving birth to coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath and chest tightness, gradually making people exhausted and falling. Not to mention that due to the condition of not being able to distinguish between day and night, unable to sleep in the morning and night, and unable to work during the evening, leading to a disorder of the body's biological clock. Those who are not familiar with it only go to the doctor after a short time. In addition, it is also known as the Land of 1,000 Lakes, with a total of about 188,000 lakes, accounting for 1/10 of Finland's area, of which the largest lake is Lake Saimaa, with an area of more than 4,400 km². Next is a passion that has existed in Finland since ancient times that helps keep the body clean but can also bring you to death. What it is, let's move on to the following content. A country passionate about saunas. Is there anyone here who is passionate about bathing but has to take a bath more than 2 times a day to stand it? So you can refer to Finland, a sauna country. They bathe so much that UNESCO has to recognize sauna culture as an intangible heritage site. And there is a World Sauna Championship in Finland that will test the contestants with their ability to withstand the heat of 110°C in a sauna. Accordingly, steam baths are present in homes, in factories, diplomatic buildings, and even tied to the back of cars to be towed everywhere. Today there are more than 3 million saunas across the country, and considering that Finland's population is only about 5.5 million, that means 1 in 2 people has a sauna. More than an activity, sauna is a ritual that has been around for thousands of years and is deeply ingrained in Finnish culture. Couples go to saunas before their wedding day to purify their souls, and women go to saunas to give birth at a time when the country's health system is not yet complete. Before the deceased is taken for burial or cremation, they are also brought into this special room, bathed and washed on a bench placed in the room. Thus, it is estimated that 99% of Finns go to the sauna at least once a week, and the room temperature falls between 80–160°C. In 1937, a club called the Finnish Sauna Association, Sauna Seura, was also founded. Not only Finland and South Korea also prefer public saunas, Japan has a culture of bathing in hot springs, and Russia has a culture of bathing in saunas called banya. The special feature here is that people are comfortable going to the sauna naked in a crowded room right in front of others because they think that if they wear underwear to the sauna, they will never be able to clean all parts of the body. Don't be too surprised because nudity is normal here. Even the Land of 1,000 Lakes will change its name to the Land of 1,000 Naked People on July 15, 2023. Nearly 1,000 naked people poured into the streets of Kuopio Beach in central Finland to participate in a group photo shoot by photographer Spencer Tunick, who has had more than 120 large-scale nude photos in public spaces around the world. In 2016, the artist photographed 100 naked women in a mirror in response to a call to protest Donald Trump's nomination for the Republican presidential nomination, attracting 18,000 attendees. Going back to the sauna, there are two sides. In October 2021, 4 Russian tourists aged between 31 and 60 were found suffocating in the resort's sauna, and in the garden of a house in Jičín near Prague, Czech Republic, 2 women aged 65 and 45 were found dead in a friend's sauna due to a broken door handle. Through this, I want to say that you need to carefully check whether the bathing place has safe physical conditions. Everyone wishes they were rich, but if you are fined 100 times harder than the poor every time you make a mistake, do you still want to be rich? Specifically, what the punishment is? Let's go to the next part. The richer you are, the heavier the penalty. You will be shocked to learn that the daily penalty system is based on income level in Finland, which is considered a country that promotes social justice. The Finnish penalty system is quite simple and strange. They take the amount of income of the offender for one day, then divide by 2. From here, the Finnish government argues that it has the right to deprive people of 1/2 of this amount if they violate the law, and will calculate how many days the violator loses 1/2 of the amount spent in such a day, depending on the severity of the violation. Accordingly, the same violation, but the fine is very different, and the amount to be paid will be multiplied by the corresponding number of days. For example, for the error of speeding, if the speed limit is 24 km/h, the fine will be half a day of income multiplied by 12, and if it exceeds 40 km/h, the number of days to pay the fine is 22. The higher the income, the more fines there are. So there are cases where Finnish citizens are fined by the traffic police and then go in World Record Book. In 2001, a Finnish businessman with an annual income of about $10.7 million drove through a red light and was fined 6 days for a total fine of $27,800. In 2009, another person was fined $120,000 for driving at 82 km/h within the 60 km/h limit. Millionaires who own the famous mobile phone company Nokia have also been fined twice. In November 2001, Mr. Pekka Ala-Pietilä, who was then the chairman of the Nokia, violated traffic laws and was fined 38,780. A year later, Anssi Vainioki, a senior executive of the company, was also fined $128,000. But when he appeared in court, he proved that his income had been severely damaged because the mobile phones could not be sold, so the court decided to reduce the original fine by 95%. In 2015, Finnish businessman Reima Kuisla was arrested for speeding. With this violation, Americans will only have to pay a maximum fine of a few $100s. However, what alarmed Mr. Kuisla said that the fine for his mistake amounted to $588819 USD, because Mr. Kuisla declared an income of $7 million USD a year. The minimum is 1 penalty day, and the maximum is 120 days. If there are multiple violations at the same time, the maximum penalty is 240 days. For example, if the driver is speeding and does not wear a seatbelt, the number of days is counted as 84. The minimum fine amount per day is 6.5 USD. Take 6.5 times 84 to get the fine amount. Perhaps people are afraid of losing the G63 cars, so the number of traffic accidents in Finland is the lowest in the European community, only 6 victims per 100,000 people. Another part is that the traffic situation there is also very desirable. Transportation in Finland. Driving on Finnish roads is simple. Just turn on the lights to change lanes and you can rest assured other vehicles will immediately give way. It is not uncommon to see at intersections, pedestrians and drivers know how to politely yield to each other. Pedestrians on the road do not have to panic. If the driver does not brake himself, the police will immediately stop the car. To avoid congestion on the streets of Helsinki, the speed limit for vehicles in many sections is no more than 40 km/h, sometimes 30 km/h. The parking lots charge very high fees, and it is impossible to find an empty space to park. In order to reduce the traffic load, the city government sometimes organizes car-free days, and the central streets become pedestrian-free areas. If you want to take a ride, it's best to go to the suburbs. Along the highways, there are barriers so that people and livestock do not block the speed of vehicles. The speed limit on the road, as well as in Germany, 120 km/h. If you overrun, you will not escape the eyes of the traffic police and will be fined severely, as I mentioned above. In case of not being detected by the police, if you overspeed or overtake, other drivers will also immediately call the traffic police without a wink to ask for sympathy from colleagues. Traffic law violators are not considered criminals, but are still condemned as irresponsible for their own safety as well as those of others. If not prevented in time, it will lead to imprisonment or lead to many years of regret for accidentally causing an accident. By the way, you should also know, the person who is driving who wants to make a phone call must have an auxiliary earphone, and on the road, it is possible to call the police through the walkie-talkie with the nearest traffic station. The craziest and strangest contests of the century. First of all, let's come to the Mobile Phone Throwing Championship, which has been held annually since 2000 in Finland, the hometown of Nokia phones, presumably to promote the unrivaled durability of this Nokia brick phone. So far, the record for the longest throw belongs to the host country contestant Riku Havarinen, male, with a record of 97.73 mil, and Osa Lundgren, female, of Sweden, with a record of 40.41 mil. The competition for uniqueness is a contest wife carrying. There are 4 types of wife carrying, the most common of which is the upside down position. The woman hangs upside down on the man's back, the head is down to the ground, the legs are attached to the shoulders of the teammates, and the man has to carry through various obstacles, racing 253.5 meters on sand and grass, crossing a slippery lake 1 meter deep and 2 dry obstacles. Whoever finishes first will win and receive an exact amount of beer equal to his wife's weight. However, there are couples who keep running for a while and stop to distribute candy to young audiences. Many couples are willing to invest in unique traditional costumes despite the entanglement and inconvenience when exercising. The right type of fun contest is the main thing. The prize is secondary, and it is not mandatory for the contestants to be husband and wife. But the female must be over 17 years old and weigh at least 49 kilos. If she is too thin, she must wear a backpack for the prescribed weight. The World Championships in this sport have been held annually in Sonkajärvi, Finland since 1992, but few people know that it actually originated from the legend of the robber Rosvo Ronkainen in eastern Finland in the 19th century. Many young men want to join the army under Ronkainen, the captain of the entrance competition, by carrying a whole live pig or a large bag of grain and running over obstacles. Who is strong and agile will be valued. Along with other competitions that are no less crazy, such as the contest of sitting in a fire ant nest, swimming in ice to see who can withstand the cold, or wearing handcuffs, kicking a ball in the swamp, talking to the cow, or throwing a chair to sit down and squeeze milk a cow, or the mosquito killing championship, World Air Guitar Championship. The most impressive are still the Kuutamajärvi Sex Festival and the Matchmaking Festival. Wild and crazy are 2 words that are often used to describe the Kuutamajärvi Festival, which is held in Kangasniemi, Finland, every July. If you participate, you can listen to experts teach about all aspects of sex life, including the most sensitive ones, visit sex toy exhibitions, or enjoy the fiery performances of dancers on stage. And what is the name of the contest you want to participate in the most? Please comment below. Traffic is like that. Education is even more surprising when all regulations, competition, and learning pressure become invisible here. Strange education amazes in Finland. No specialized schools, elective classes, no score comparisons. Playing time is inviolable. In fact, Finnish education differs from tradition in some ways, causing many parents to ponder, and every child dreams. The first is that this country does not make children wake up early. The school schedule starts at 9 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. like many Asian countries. There is no school uniform, and students address teachers by their own names. The whole atmosphere makes it feel more comfortable and like home. The country's education policy places more emphasis on quality than control and competition. There is no ranking of schools based on student academic performance. Regardless of whether students are excellent or weak in studies, talented or mediocre are integrated into learning together according to equal standards. Most of them attend a public school close to home with a comprehensive educational environment and all social classes, in which from the children of doctors to the children of workers, there is no distinction between rich and poor. It is not until students turn 15 years old that they begin to be assigned classes and have their own choices. The salaries of teachers here are also quite high, about 43,000 USD per year, even ranking above the US, 42,000 USD year, and the UK, 41,000 USD year, while the average student rate per teacher is only about 17 people, avoiding the situation that teachers do not know the names and academic abilities of their students. Don't think that letting go will make students ignorant, because the results of math, science, and literature tests for 15-year-old students, Finland is always in the top position. Moreover, about 93% of Finnish students graduate from domestic universities, and 17.5% of them have higher grades than in the United States. About 66% go on to graduate school, which is the highest rate in Europe. Many children will admire when they know that Finnish students' playtime is very large and homework is quite light, and there are rarely suicides due to academic pressure like in Korea. Students don't even need to do any homework until they are 7 years old. The school has a full range of services in terms of food, health, psychological counseling, and even transportation if needed for students to ensure they receive the best possible care. Finnish law also requires teachers to give students 15 minutes of play for every 45 minutes of instruction. In addition, anyone who receives a doctorate will also be awarded a sword and a hat. This gift symbolizes the freedom to study and struggle for good, fairness, and truth. Even if a person has received a degree, a person is not considered a doctor of philosophy if he has not received these two artifacts. In short, the name of the education paradise given to Finland is reasonable. Finally, there is the strange tree-hugging contest in Finland. Laugh at the strange tree-hugging contest in Finland. This case is not hugging the lover is hugging the whole world anymore, but the tree-hugging contest held at the end of August every year in the Lapland region, in a pine forest called Halipuu, which in Finnish means hug, halai, and tree, puu, which translates to the forest of hugs. Specifically, the contest is divided into 3 contents. The first is speed hug. Players will hug as many trees as possible in the allotted time. Each hug is not less than 5 seconds. Next is giving love. Each person chooses a tree of their own and hugs it with affection for 1 minute. Finally, freedom participants are comfortable and creative in hugging upside down, hugging lying down, even hugging when eating barbecue, kissing trees. All styles are applied to the judges to see that trees are an extremely important thing. Stefania, an Italian, won the first 2 years of the tree hugging contest. In the first free competition, she folded her hands, bowed her head towards the stump, and hugged the tree. In the second competition, she set a record with the hugging speed of 10 trees within 1 minute. In fact, before the birth of the contest in 2020, the people here have lived together, revered and grateful for trees since ancient times. Since 2016, the last week of August has been designated as Tree Hug Week to express the Finnish people's love for trees, as well as Mother Nature. What about you? If you own a ticket to participate in this contest, will you always go out? Please comment yes or no. However, it is not just about hugging trees to be happy, but sometimes it is also to make a living like Mr. Le Van Ron in Ben Tre, Vietnam, who is disabled in both legs but has been living by hugging trees for decades. Day by day, he conquered many coconut trees at different heights to cut down each coconut to sell. Today's video is over. Thank you for watching it so far. In your opinion, what is the strangest fact of the above discoveries in Finland? Please comment below.
With